Hello and welcome back to Feel Good Living with Prue Bach. This is my 11th episode with you, and I'm going to continue the conversation about a self-relationship. Am I in flow with myself or am I blocking myself? Last episode, we talked about self-worth and how that is the greatest gift we can give ourselves so that we can perform our best, but not just perform our best, feel our best in life. Today, I'm going to extend that self-relationship with a focus on self-confidence. And self-confidence, what is that exactly? How is it I can create it? What does it mean if I don't have it? How much is it stealing and costing me in my success, but also in my joy of being me in my life? That's some of what we're going to unpack today. If I ask you self-confidence, is self-confidence about my results? Is it about my actions? Is it about my potential? Or is it about my beliefs? Which one of those four things? It's about what is it I'm doing, or is it the results I'm getting, or is it the potential, or is it my beliefs? That is the most important brick in this puzzle of whether I do or I don't. It is belief. What is it I believe about me that then is going to mean I will, so I do it, or I don't, so I won't, so it costs me what it could have led to? Do you feel that sometimes, that you just know what you want, you know what it could mean, you're so ready and so eager and so determined, and oh, if only I could. I know that feeling for sure. So what's that about? I want to tell you that the X factor we're all looking for is in this self-relationship. It's all about our self-relationship. It's actually not about the circumstances. It's not about other people. It's not about the situation. It's nothing to do with the external world. That's right. When we start to understand that it's a self-relationship that's either allowing us to be successful and achieve all we dream of, that we can feel is calling us to the highest, best potential, or we're actually our own worst enemy and blocking that potential from existing because we're not allowing it to come to us, through us, and from us. So this self-expression is huge because when we know our truth within, but we deny our ability to say it or deny our ability to do it, then it's only us in our own way. And other people out there don't actually know that truth within. They don't know that we actually have something calling us forward, that we can actually know whether we're doing it or we're not doing it. So the greatest truth about owning it, having authentic power, being this lion that I so often talk about, owning it like the lion, stepping it up from I know it and I want it, that truth is a truth within. But other people out there don't know about it. It's only us that can feel what is calling us and whether we go with the flow or we don't. So in all reality, one of the greatest things we can do to build our self-confidence is to keep our promises with ourselves. That when I know it from within, that I am true to that call, to that knowing, and I do what it takes. Yes, that is the big deal thing. So that's what I help my clients do when they're with me. It's facing the truth, it's owning the truth, and then it's combining my own worst enemy with my true knowing and knowing how to learn to close the gap, take ownership, and in that taking ownership of myself with my dream, taking myself seriously, I do what it takes. So maybe you're one of these people, I sure know it, where we're good at keeping our word and doing what it takes with when other people ask something of us. When we commit to other people, we're good at keeping that promise. We're good at delivering the action, creating the results, being true to that potential, and thereafter proving to ourselves that we can do that. We can do that. But I'm talking to you about, are you good at keeping your own promises to yourself? That's what creates confidence from the inside out. That's what I call authentic power through authentic ownership, because it's a self-relationship. It's the truth we know within. That's a private matter. It's only us that knows. I know it within, so I go after it. Or I know it within and I deny myself with a whole lot of excuses. And that's okay. But I help myself and I help my clients to take ownership and make it happen. Because until we take ourselves seriously, until we show up for ourselves, until we back ourselves, there's a whole lot of potential me that's not going to show up in my physical world as results, because I'm not taking the action, because I'm not believing in myself. There are so many people that I really help free themselves from their own internal jail because they believe in a limitation. They believe more in what they've got or what they've lived previously. Because one of the greatest things that holds us back from believing enough to do the necessary action, to close the gap to what we can feel inside, the truth within that we know we want to realize, from the non-physical to the physical, make real. The block is the lack of belief. Because, why is that? It's because according to the human perspective on things, self-confidence is about not who we're being. It's actually about what am I doing? And in my action, what feedback am I getting? And based on the feedback I'm getting, we have a tendency to then say, I can, or based on the results, the feedback says I can't. And then we're pretty quick to believe it, to accept I can or I can't. And it's right both ways, that I can, it's right, or I can't, that it's right. And in that acceptance that it is just what it is, when we believe it because we've accepted it, we've surrendered ourselves to that's just how it is. But I challenge you. Are we willing to let that just be the end of the matter? Are we perfect every time we do something for the first time? Should we expect that if I'm not perfect and if the results aren't good, that means I'm not good at it? Because the thing that I know as a hypnotherapist is the reality we live, the physical world we're observing, is something we have created over time with all those small choices we make or the automatic actions we take that then add up over time to a result. And when we observe it, we either say, yeah, I'm good at that, or no, I'm not good at that. And a lot of the time, it's based on other people's opinion, other people's feedback. It's the circumstance or the situation or their view of what happened that I've then just accepted, taken to myself and believed in. What's the problem with that? The problem is, do you remember that I said that there's some knowing that we have that's private, that we can feel and know within, that's a potential, that's calling us forward to an evolution of ourselves, something we want to achieve and close the gap on. So it's not good if we're quick to accept and believe that feedback says, I'm not good at it, or I can't. Because what if your heart tells you? It's just a constant nagging that we can't escape, that we know within, that I want it and it's important, or it matters, or I know it's what I'm supposed to do, or it's what I'm supposed to say, and I could have, but I didn't, and I want to, but I didn't, and I know it, but I didn't. Oh, do you know how much we're blocking our joy, blocking our success, holding ourselves back from what could be? That's a big deal. We shouldn't just lie down and accept that I can't. I challenge you, if it matters, make it happen. If it's important, learn what it takes. So I appeal to you that there is another confidence that I want you to start to practice. That's not about the evidence. It's not about the results. It's about the desire. It's about the dream. It's about the truth burning within you that is so ready to be seen, to be experienced, to be visual, to be physical, to be manifested in a tangible reality. And it's you that is the channel from which it can become. So when I know it from within and I accept the desire, that's the non-physical relationship I have with myself, that is calling me forward to the evolution I want to experience and observe and have physical, so that it's a reality that I can share with others in my life for the joy of it. That's a big deal. But it requires us not waiting for the evidence. It requires us backing ourselves up and saying, when I know it and it matters, when I can feel it and it feels right, when I can feel it and it feels so good and strong and important, it matters to me, then I want you to back yourself up and then start inviting. Inviting what? Inviting two important factors into your life. To recognize that there is a truth within that I call the inner lion presence. And then there's the external space called quantum field. The field of all things are possible. That there is infinite things available to us. And all it takes is we do what it takes to interact from within and the external to combine our two parts of the intellect and the intuition, the wisdom and the knowledge, and then go after that burning desire with all the conviction and insistence and determination and willpower with the right action, and build that belief up. That when I want it and I do it and I get feedback, I can course correct and I can learn what I need to learn to take the right action, to get the right results, to then know when it feels good or better, best, that I know I'm on the right track. And then it's just about being true to me, to the truth within me, that I am willing to back myself up, do what it takes, be the resource in my life I need to be. And that's where I help people in hypnosis and hypnotherapy to understand what the knowledge within knows. Because when they know it intellectually, because of hypnosis, intuition and insight and knowing through me as a channel, that when they combine those two elements of themselves, internal perspective with the external knowledge of what we've learned over time, being taught and educated to understand and know, together with our own life, that through me, while they're in the chair of hypnosis, that I can then be a bridge to knowing, from their inner knowing to their intellectual conscious knowing, and that they can combine those two parts so that then in that knowing can begin to believe and back themselves up and do what it takes with that thought built into when I know it and I do it, then I get evidence. And when I get evidence, I can start to believe, so that the confidence builds as the doing, because of the thinking it into being, that builds the evidence and results up. So through my believing it enough, because I'm backing myself up, it's so important, I'm doing what it takes. I want it so much, I'm making what needs to happen. And in my wanting it, I am doing what it takes with the knowledge from within, in trusting and believing it, doing what it takes, getting the feedback and results that then makes the belief possible. So make the belief and then make that belief reality. That's the way a hypnotherapist can help you build what you want to build and make physical what you want to make physical. When I know what I want, then that knowing means I do what it takes to make it a physical reality. So I'm not waiting for the evidence to believe. I'm not waiting for the feedback to believe. I'm backing myself up from the inside with that trust and that faith. And then based on that, I am getting to know myself from within. So if you can relate, make it happen. And we can also do it together. I'd love to see you. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time. It's Prue Bach on Feel Good Living. Make it happen, Lions. You can do it.